Hi there, it's Priscilla Batzell, again in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery. And in front of you is my studio logo, which someday I'm going to figure out something to do with, and a 18-inch by 24-inch black canvas. And what I want to do is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I have all my toys and tools handy, and my plan may change, but generally I just want to try and use any variation on my spatulas today. These are all Princeton Catalyst art tools, and I love them, and I'm going to use them, if all goes as planned, which is iffy at best, as swiping tools. Swiping is just having a wet layer of paint and pulling it over other colors of paint. So why don't I just start and see what happens. And I thought maybe I would start a little bit at a time. First I'm going to put my glasses on my face, and I think I'll just follow the scratches because these canvases are notoriously easy to scratch the paint surface. I'm not exactly sure what or how I'm going to do this, but I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think it can be done, and we'll find out. So I'm going to use my little rectangular spatula to smooth that paint out. Who knows where this is going to go? Who knows indeed? But I don't like wasting paint, so that's something to think about to begin with. Alright, so I have a mark. Happens to be Halloween today for me. I know it's not for you guys because you won't see this for a while. So I'm just going to add colors on top because I can. Because I want to see what happens when I swipe them. I want a little drama. And in my Prussian blue, which is what's in my hand, which is a lot like black, but navy, there is a little bit of Deco Art pouring medium mixed with my Floetrol, and the Gac 800 I put in everything to keep paint that's thick from cracking. Now the reason I started with white instead of some other color is because I like this folk art multi-surface neon purple, and also my neon-ish pink, and they will tend to not come out nicely. Just gotta swipe this. See what happens. Got all kinds of other tools standing by if this does not seem like it's going to turn out to be a thing. But so far, I'm not unhappy. I just have no idea how this is going to work. And I kind of like the cells I had there, but I want the paint to go over the edge. And then I'll just bring some back again. And I'm going to get my paint out of the way as best I can. And let's see, what do I want to do? Let's see if there's any tipping happening. Yeah, there's some tipping happening. I think that requires me to grab one of my edge catchers. This one's particularly dirty. It's just a heavy sheet of plastic that I've used to catch the edges of the paint as they flow down off the canvas, and they come from, they're the inserts and the protective layer inside a 16 by 20 inch package of canvases, 20 pack specifically from Michaels. They're a bulk package. They're about $40 or $45 depending on if you're finding them on sale or not. I'm going to wipe off my spatula. I kind of like the white that's left, so I'm going to try and keep it in mind when I do this again. And I'm just going to keep putting down shapes that I like, and I'm not going to worry about wiping my spatula off next time because I think all that paint is going to get used. I love the matte black background of this canvas, and I'm guessing that if I want to finish these nicely, sometimes they will require more finishing. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I just want to go right now and not talk too much for a minute. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this, still talking, Yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to do this is so I could change up my colors from section to section and not have to worry about them mixing in any specific way. So that white on that spatula should help me spread paint, since paint flows to paint. And this is all just a learning experience for me. Yeah, slowly going brain dead. Sometimes I just want to paint instead of talking. Go figure. And this is nice because I get to just keep adding what I want where I want it. And that's a plan I like. There's my dog thinking it's time to play. Nope, not yet. Alright, so go away. Thank you. Put some of that along the edge of the white and see what happens when I drag it into the white. And move it around some. I'm not minding that too much. I'm having a little bit of dripping. I don't know what you can see. I'm kind of having a really good time though, I gotta say, because this is just fun for me to try this new thing. That's some white pearl, and I haven't tried that yet, so it must be time. I suppose if I wanted to, I could just do what I used to do. What I still do is pounce my spatula just a little bit to spread the paint, somewhat cautiously. I also have pointed things, and I want to see what pointed things do. But I'm trying to show you as opposed to giving myself convenient room to play, so pardon me while I play. And orange is another thing that I think might not show so much on black background unless it's got the white with it, so that's my plan and why I'm using the white. I'm also going to grab some darker orange color. And at any given point in time, I suspect that I can just throw some white down next to something and swipe it out. This is all new for me. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. I don't know what took me so long. But this way I get to compose with my colors, which makes me kind of really happy. And that way I get to see what I get. On this, right in the paint. On this 18 by 24 inch canvas, there is a stretcher bar that keeps the canvas and the frame taut up the back, so if I need to hang on to it, I can. I like that yellow. I see that I have stuff happening that I kind of like, but I'm not sure about yet. I want something here. I think that's going to have to be a dot of something else. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I did set my timer. We got 10 minutes left. My camera will shut off at 20 minutes. So I'm just trying to lead paint around. The surface I work on, the area I work in is a little small, so the 18 by 24 canvas is really is pushing the envelope as far as what I can do in the space that I've got. And I'm hoping you guys can see quite a bit of that. I'm going to wipe off my spatula just because. I kind of think that the, as much as I like the pointed one, I like the other one better. Because there's more surface area. And I've been thinking that I could even start by making, you know, like using chalk or something to make the beginning of a design. And I like this pink here. I just got bit by something. The perils of working outdoors. But the weather is a lot nicer right now than it's been for a long time. Yeah, that's not bothering me. And I like this gold over here. I even like it with that little bit of pink I left on my spatula. I do consciously leave paint on tools and take it off tools, expecting different results. Now there, I see there's some Prussian blue in there, which I know will sell if I agitate it. So I'm going to try and agitate it and drag some of it out. So this is just fun. I said that already. I know I did. I haven't thought it through. There could come a point in time when I do that, when I think it through. This is not that. This is the first experiment. And I always try my best to expect good things to happen. And I'm still trying to think that. But this being the first time that I've actually just been able to pick colors I wanted to use and use them, I'm excited. I'm excited to do something different. I'm not saying it will be easy for anybody. I'm just saying it's fun for me. And thank you for joining me. Oh, and thank you to all the contributors that have kept me painting. And I might as well, while I'm diddling with some paint, mention that you can find my Instagram and Pinterest boards linked at the bottom of the description under the video. And under the description of the video you can find my paint pouring recipe, which includes the Floetrol, the amount of Floetrol, and the Gac 800. And the fact that I often use Iridescent Pearl Fine by Golden added to my paints to make them shimmer, like that blue right there. Let's see if I can think on my feet. And I think if I want something else in there, I'm going to have to do something else about it. Be nice if the first one was kind of quick, but it's a rather large canvas to have that kind of hope. I haven't used any black in there yet, and I'm kind of tempted to find out what that's going to be like. Let's just dig out the black. It's nice that the spatula that I have in my hand, this little one, this number 2, is just like the perfect width to not be too invasive while I'm trying to do this, which is cool. The reason I'm using black on a black canvas is because the matte black and the shiny black are quite different than each other, and they will show up when they're dry quite different from each other. Looking for, what am I looking for? I'm looking for two colors. And I do want to just be brazen. Very, very brazen this first time out. And see what can be done without, you know, putting constraints on me. Because there's always interior constraints. You don't even know. You're having like this dialogue. A lot of people who are artists are having a dialogue about what they shouldn't do. I think some of the most interesting artists in the world have been the ones that break all the rules. So I would prefer if I could be one of those. That would be okay with me. Kind of want some thinner lines. I thought about using my dollar store dustpan, which is over on my side right now, and adding some multicolored paints, and then dragging a pipe cleaner through it, which may be in a minute or it might be next time. So in the meantime, I don't want to overdo this because this is really kind of fun. I don't know who's going to be trying it after me. And I hope my colors turn out okay. And if I have an excess of paint, I can just spread it out. And hopefully, because the Floetrol, even with no silicone, and there is no silicone in my paint mix. I do add silicone occasionally, but this is not that. I like using my spatula and my skewers and everything else just to drag paint here and there willy-nilly. I would like a bigger space. Someday my space will come, I'll tell you what. And I've got that paint right there, and I want that mark continued. So I'm just going to steal it off the spatula and steal it off my finger and call it good. And I like all of that so far. And I've managed to get quite a bit of paint to fall down over the sides at the appropriate spots as I go along, which never hurt my feelings at all. Makes it look kind of cohesive. I have chains. I got little specks of paint, but you know what? That's just par for the course, and I'm okay with it. I also can just add anomalous sort of dry twiggy shapes anywhere I want because of the GAC 800, because thick paint will not crack. I'm trying to focus on keeping you guys in the picture and also on keeping myself working on a composition I like. And I don't mind outlining anything in white. It's kind of cool. And I know I can rough up the pattern. And I can just keep laying paint down next to each other. Paints next to each other. Yeah, I see that. Okay. Well, you may not be able to see that, but I can, and I got to do something about it. I got a little tiny dab of paint on my black canvas down at the bottom, or whatever it is, whatever its orientation is. I threatened the pipe cleaner, so let's have a go. Is this? Yes, this is my... Let's see what we get. This is fun. We got 1 minute and 55 seconds left, so I'll tell you, if you like what I do in my experiments, I could use some support. My only income is from YouTube, and it's coming along, but it's not enough to do any of the things I need to do, like put a roof on my studio. So those of you who can, who want to support me, Patreon and PayPal are links underneath the YouTube video, and also there are icons on my YouTube channel header for both of those things. The Amazon link doesn't cost you anything extra to shop there, but it does kick me back just a little bit, so it helps me out, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I could have left all that shape there pretty nicely. And you know that won't stay, I gotta warn you. So what am I doing? I am thinking about pipe cleaners, and there's my dollar store dustpan, which is plastic, and the small one as opposed to the big one. And I am going to use it as a reservoir and throw just a few colors in the bottom. And where's my pearl? There's my pearl. And hopefully that won't take an awful long time. I see that I have some of that Prussian blue just sitting there, being wasted on the black. I guess it's never wasted. Speaking of Prussian blue, let's throw some of that in there. Alright, I'm just going to throw whatever comes to mind. Cross your fingers. I want this to work like you wouldn't believe. Hoping my colors are pretty enough. Usually that's not a problem. Okay, so I set the timer for 18 minutes because I usually talk through the end and then I get cut off, and I'm going to try a moment with my pipe cleaner. Just dragging a little bit of paint with it. I'm going to leave the white paint residual right on there. Sort of just like a new paintbrush. And then I'm going to start us over. And it cuts the sides kind of nicely. I'm getting a lot of white paint. But that's okay. This is definitely a learning experience. And fun.